vegetable garden?
It's a mix. I have just lemon, pepper, and the
Okay,
rest of them are flowers.
cool. Lemons, peppers, and flowers. Very pretty. Um, and Alexander, how's it going? Alexander, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, hi. It's going well.
Nice. Okay, good to hear. Um,
Good to see
and
you again.
you too, Alexander. Uh, what have you done today, Alexander?
Mm, nothing too exciting. I just went to the university and did some studying, reading. What
Okay,
else? And oh, I also went to the insurance company to deal with some uh, problems.
okay. Hopefully not too big of a problem. Don't do
No,
the
it's
insurance company.
just the problems with the car because I had an accident, not because of my fault,
Okay,
and the person who uh, scratched my car, and he has to pay me for their fixation for their um,
repairs.
repairs. Yeah,
Hmm. Cool. Okay. And do you think he's gonna pay? I mean, he has
of
to pay?
of course, because. Uh, because it is a law.
Nice. Okay, good. Sometimes I guess people hit and run, so they'll scratch your car, mess up your car, and then they'll just leave without giving you information.
No,
Happens always.
I I saw him how he did it, and I immediately ran to my car and started talking with him, and he was quite uh, he felt guilty, uh,
Okay,
and he did his best to help me.
good. That's really nice. Good to hear. Um, and Adela, welcome to class. Adela, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. Um, yeah, Adela, what's your day been like today?
Relaxing day because my students were out with another teacher. Uh,
Nice.
I don't have any classes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. Um, what did you do instead of teaching class?
To prepare to revise exams
Hmm.
and to uh, prepare the platform, online platform.
Nice. All right. Cool. So productive, but relaxing.
Yes.
Nice. Julieta, how's it going?
Hi, I'm doing well, thanks.
Cool. Good to hear.
Good
Julieta, what's
evening.
your day been? Hmm?
Good evening.
Yeah, it's still like 2 o'clock here, so it's still pretty early. Good afternoon, maybe.
Oh,
Uh,
afternoon. Okay.
yeah. It's just dark in this room. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mm,
yeah, Julieta,
so,
what's your day? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
so, uh, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, what'd you do today? What was your day like?
Oh, I was at my father office, and then I had two classes, and then I went to run, and now I'm here.
Nice. Okay, cool. Um, all right, nice. Pretty good day. Productive. Uh, Exercise, which is always good. All right, and I think it might just be the four of us for now. Let's get started on today's class. And let's have Amp. Can you read the title and the next few lines?
The news. Today we will practice conjugating verbs, read comics, read and discuss news stories, and practice role plays.
Nice. Good job. Any questions on this page? No, obviously not. Let's go on to the next page. And Amp, can you ask Alexander the first question?
Alexander, do you watch the news? Why or why not?
Yes, I definitely like watching the news because by watching them I can find out something new, what's going on in our world, and what's the latest news, what's the problems, um, what's the problem in my country, and how to just maybe to know this and to share uh, uh, this news with someone in the university, and to mm, to be to be aware of everything.
Okay. I think that was good. Yeah, I made a couple corrections as we were writing, as you were talking.
Being able,
Just no, yeah, being able to share this news with somebody.
it's like
What
a
part?
progressive, yeah, being able.
Um, it'd be actually more like the gerund. So the state of being
Cherry.
able to. Um,
I get it.
yeah. So yeah, I like being able to do something. So it's acting more like a noun. So I like this thing, this capability that I have. But yeah, good. So it'd be more like the gerund. But that's good. And Alexander, can you ask Adela the next question?
Of course. To share. I'm confused a bit. Okay. Do you share the news with someone? Who? Do you talk about the news with someone?
Sometimes with I share or I comment with my husband. I wouldn't like the news because are very negative or were very negative. It's a little depressive to watch or to talk the news.
Okay. Sometimes I talk with my husband. We wouldn't say
Yes,
I wouldn't like the news.
I
Because
like to watch the news, but sometimes I wouldn't like because the news are very negative. I'm depressing after the
yeah,
news. It's only problems.
okay. Yeah. We still wouldn't use I wouldn't. Um, wouldn't would be more with like conditional statements. So like if I had the choice, I wouldn't like to watch the news or I would like to watch shows instead of the news. Here we just sometimes I don't. Um,
Okay.
so I like to watch the news, but sometimes I don't like the news because um,
I would like are
it is.
more interesting and more positive.
Yeah. So you like things that are more interesting, more positive. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Can you read this last sentence again one more time?
It's a little depressing to talk about the news.
Yeah. You could also use the gerund. It's a little bit depressing talking about the news, but good.
Okay.
What about you, Julieta? Do you share or talk about the news with anybody?
I have my father to talk with to talk about the news, and my brother and my uncle
Okay.
usually.
And my uncle. I didn't know you had a brother. How old is your brother older or younger than you?
1 year younger.
Nice. Okay, so younger brother. Um, right. And who do you like talking with most?
Most with my uncle because he's always um, passionate and uh, polemical.
Polemic. I guess
Polemic.
polemical. Polemical? I'm not sure. I think it'd be polemic, but I'm not. Polemical might be a word. Yeah, I think polemical could work.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's polemical for sure. Good.
Polemical. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually the same word, so you could use polemic or polemical, which is awesome. I'm so glad that I wasn't wrong about that. Um, both would work as an adjective. Okay. Good. And Julieta, can you ask Amp the next question?
What news story are you following now?
Well, inside my country, about the situation in the hospital that is near my home, that is it was declared an emergency yesterday. The president was visiting the hospital and said that needs some adjustment. The the management, because it doesn't have the medication that people need.
Okay. Nice. So the hospital near your home, it was declared, maybe it was declared to be in an emergency situation. It was
Yeah.
declared to be an emergency. Yeah, I think either would work. I think you're good there. Good. Okay. And how long do you think it'll take them to renovate the hospital?
Well, the hospital is not going to be closed. Just they need to take care of them, put the people to check the administration and how the medication he's supposed to send new medication that the patient needs. But we know
Okay.
we don't know yet
Yeah.
how long.
Yeah. It's always tough.
Yeah.
Renovations and upgrades, I guess. Okay, good. And I guess, does anybody have any questions or comments on this page? Anything they'd like to add? Actually, Adela, can you talk about the 300 immigrants who disappeared?
Yes, I watch the news 1 hour for an hour. It's the news about a problem with maybe a boat, or I don't know, but 300 immigrants for Libya, I think, or more or less, has disappeared on the sea because the weather is not very good. They have a storm, has a problem with the boat. But it's more normal, no?
Where did they were traveling?
They traveling in a boat, maybe overweight, maybe in a very bad condition because they have a lot of people. It's a problem.
Wow.
In Italy, in Spain, is same because it's near the North Africa. They are problems to these countries. They try
Comes
to.
with.
They try to arrive Spain, Italy.
Yeah, so they were seeking wow, not amnesty, but refuge, I guess. So the refugees almost?
Yes.
Or illegal immigrants. Or...
Yeah, that's really, really sad though, especially this time of year. Okay. Man, heavy news.
Know.
Okay,
I don't know, depressing, the news.
Yeah, it is sometimes really, really depressing. Yes.
Joshua, can you water down what means refugees?
Yeah, maybe who can explain what a refugee is?
It's someone. Oh.
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Julieta. No, Julieta, go.
women.
Okay. So, a refugee is a person that has a problem in his country. So he escaped his country and is trying to have a better place to live.
It's like
Yeah.
migrants, yeah?
Yes. But
Yeah, an immigrant is a little bit. Go ahead, Julieta.
no.
Okay, so an immigrant is a little bit less intense than a refugee. So a refugee is fleeing something a little bit more pressing than an immigrant. An immigrant, you don't have to be fleeing from anything. You could just want to move. That's immigration or emigrating. It's either for like better economic opportunities or because you feel safer somewhere, but it's not as intense as a refugee. A refugee is fleeing usually from war or from other persecution, sometimes religious persecution.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Okay. And leave and come back. Not sure. Everybody else can hear pretty well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's probably just Am's connection. All right. Let's go on. I think we've already got these vocabulary words down, right? Everybody's all set with these? Alexander?
Hmm?
Do you know these words? We've already gone through these words, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
remember them.
Let's try this quickly then. Okay, perfect, Am. Am, can you read the title and try the first sentence?
Fill in the blanks plus conjugate the verb. Our
Conjugate.
foreign conjugate. Our foreign in Greece for the past 2 weeks covering the story. We turn to him now. Our foreign correspondent was in Greece.
For the past 2 weeks.
Has been
Perfect.
in Greece for the past 2 weeks covering this story. This story. We turn to him now.
Nice. Okay, good. Alexander, what about the next one?
Okay. Today's The Gap explained how bankers gain their recent economic crisis. Today's report, no report. Editorials.
Not editorials. You could say singular, today's editorial.
Today's editorial explained how bankers began their recent economic crisis. Crisis. Crisis, okay.
What's another one that could work here?
Maybe breaking news?
Maybe breaking news. Today's breaking news. Generally, if it's something of that nature, it'd be less breaking news and more of a blank story. What kind of story would it be? Can anybody help him out? I actually call it a feature. Today's feature. So it's like a long thing, story about something that happened. Generally, it's a little bit after the fact, so it's a feature story, so telling kind of what happened and why. It goes into detail. But yeah, so I think feature works the best on this one, but only because I wrote it. And so what did you say? How did you conjugate the verb to begin?
Began.
Yeah, began. But yeah, editorial could work as well. Editorial would work here. Adela, what about the next one?
That news agency is rubbish. All day printed for the past 10 years is yellow. Is yellow journalist. All day has print
Nice.
print for the past 10 years is yellow journalism.
Nice job. Giulietta, what about the next one?
The journalist who the terrorists
You did this one last time.
yes, have been holding captive for the past month was released yesterday.
Good. Nice job. Really good work. And what about the last one?
Our most famous columnist is writing about love or write about love.
Right. What's he write?
Writes editorial.
Yeah. It's like opinion pieces about love. Good. That works really well. All right. And any questions on this page? Okay. We can skip those. Let's look at this. And Alexander, can you read the quotation?
Okay. Myth is much more important and true than history. History is just journalism, and you know how reliable that is. Joseph Campbell.
Good. Maybe history is just journalism. You know how reliable that is. Can you repeat that? Just the intonation here.
Okay. History is just journalism, and you know how reliable that is.
Yeah, and you know how reliable that is.
That is.
Yeah, so we really put a lot of emphasis on that.
In the most cases, just in that.
Yeah, just in this sentence, because it's kind of rhetorical. So it's assuming that you know he's being ironic, or even that the meaning is that journalism is not reliable. So history is just journalism, and you know how reliable that is. It's the same thing as like, she's late, and then your friend can say, yeah, but you know how reliable she is. She's always late. So again, it's like kind of just in this case, we would really emphasize that. I'm not sure how to explain it clearly. Maybe.
I understand. Yeah, and I understood a bit.
Okay, good. I'll think about maybe another way to explain it while you guys are talking about this.
Maybe journalism is not reliable, but history neither.
Yeah. So he's saying neither history nor journalism
are reliable.
Are reliable. He's saying myth is much more important and true than history. So what's he trying to say here? Adela, what's this quotation trying to say?
Maybe myths are invented is more true than the real in real exactly real facts or real things in journalism or in history, no?
Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, and Giulietta, why do you think he's saying that? What do you think, his logic is behind that? Whether you agree or disagree, what do you think the logic is behind this statement?
The logic is that journalism can fake history and write as winners want to make history appear. So perhaps something that is a myth has a true core, instead of history that is just make up.
Okay, something that is a myth has a true core? Is that what you said? Something that is a myth?
Yes.
As opposed to history, which has maybe a true face, but is falser.
Inside.
Yeah, inside. Okay. Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's trying to say. Amp, do you agree or do you disagree, and why?
I think the myth is something that exists. Nobody have proved that the fact is real or not, but the history is just a partial vision of someone that wrote the that fact, and we just learned like a real just
Mhm.
with the time, but it's also something that we don't know how real it is.
Yeah, definitely. So the idea of objectivity is kind of a false sense of security with history and with journalism. So just because it's claimed to be real. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Okay, what about you, Alexander? Do you agree or do you disagree, and why?
I absolutely agree with that because we all know that journalism is not is not always right. Is not always um, um, telling everything that was hidden in some particular case, and that is why it makes us think that some activities or some um, just a sec, um, some developments uh, was written just um, to actually I don't know why I kind of lost my thoughts. So
We could say I lost my train of thought. It's a really good expression in English. I've lost my train of thought.
I lost my train of thought, and but I actually not quite sure about myth as well, because I think myth is it's like a yellow journalism, just to it was written just to emphasize something, or maybe it was created by someone to uh, to exaggerate some activities that was taking place in somebody place, and I'm kind of agree and disagree at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it matters what the audience assumes if they know, in quotations, that something is false, or know that something is true? Is true. How does that affect the way they interpret information?
Interpret information. We are talking about that times about many years ago, yeah.
No. So the idea of making a myth, I mean, is a little bit more malleable than just old stories. So fiction, in a sense, is kind of like a myth. it's not quite, and that's not like a direct thing, but yeah, in this case he's comparing history and myth, and then he's saying that history and journalism are the same. So yeah, even if we're talking about old things, yeah, I guess the importance is, the way that the audience interprets something. If they know it's false, how do they deal with it differently than if they know or assume that it's true?
Yes, because we know that everyone like to accentuate some actions, and that is why what we hear is just what we hear is can be bigger than it was.
Okay. Yeah. Adela, what do you think about that?
I think fiction is more real than news. In general, in people sometimes don't have don't know that is true or false, and I think journalism is not very objective. It's depend. They are all. They are people are very good journalists, but others news try to impact on the audience to have audience. I think is the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So some people are very good journalists, but others try to impact the audience. Yeah, for sure. Julieta, do you think that journalism and news or history can be objective? Or do you think that trying to be objective is maybe harmful?
It depends, because sometimes you have to sell yourself to live. So perhaps it's harmful for a journalist who need to write something to have a job. If you are an authority, perhaps you can write more freely.
Yeah, because it's describing how you write.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah. Nice. Really good point. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or anything they'd like to add to this page? Okay, maybe one last question. Amp, what about you? Do you think that news and history can be objective?
Well, I think when a journalist finishes the career, he is supposed to be objective. But when you are working in a media, probably you are going to take the position of the owner of the the newspaper or the radio or the television channel. And sometimes it's pretty difficult to be objective, but generally the same news you can see it in a media that is pro the government, or and you see the same news in a media that is against the government, and you you are going to see 2 points of view totally different. So
Mm-hmm.
it's something that you have to decide what to believe, but is uh, you are never going to know what is the real truth if you don't live for yourself.
Yeah. Okay, good. What about the idea, do you think by not being or by not trying to be real, can you be more honest? Alexander. So by not trying to be real, do you think you can be more honest? So that question's in the chat box.
Do you think you can? By not being real? Speaking of this, expression. I'd say that. Okay, I'll give an example about that journalist again, because now these people who works
Who work? Because
who work, yeah, who work in this field that is connected with news or stuff something, and they cannot speak freely. They cannot give us the real news because they were told by someone who is in authority to do that, to say that, and they kind of under their pressure, they are influenced by someone who is really in charge in the news field, and it's really because it's really how to say showing the news, showing the real situation, what's going on. You can influence on the audience, and it's like a it's a really it is a really dangerous weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And,
I think that's similar to what Amp was saying too about, you know, having to answer to people who are higher up in the.
But speaking of the being real, when you cannot be honest, it depends on the person how
Yeah.
he feels, and how he feels
Nice.
talking the lies, and if he feels comfortable, and if he doesn't feel anything uncomfortable, so it's just our life.
Yeah, being comfortable with different forms of expression. So it depends on the person, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, good. I think that was really good. Really good point. Nice job. And yeah, I think we're good on this. Let's go on. We can skip that for now. Let's do some reading, and let's start with Adela. Can you read this first part? So up till it.
What to say when you realize it's tax season? Not even a Swiss bank can save you now. Early this week, a report showed that employees at HSBC's Swiss bank helped wealthy people, including arms dealers, diamond traffickers, and even celebrities, hide billions of dollars so that they wouldn't have to pay taxes. Since saving money is hard when you have so much of it.
Good. First of all, what's that last sentence mean? Since saving money is hard when you have so much of it. What's that mean? Is it an honest sentence? Is it being serious?
It's a little ironic, I think, because people have a lot of money, go to the Swiss or another paradise, taxes paradise, to put to have your money, save your money.
Yeah, exactly. This is a perfect example of irony. So it's saying something, but meaning something the exact opposite.
They don't see what is the origin, the money. Only they are a lot. It's not
but also
black
it's
or
making
white.
fun of
It's
people
not
who.
a problem.
Yeah, but also making fun of people who have a lot of money and who are trying to do these really illegal things to save it. It's like, I mean, it's not that hard to save money if you've got a ton of it. Um, so they're being a little bit sarcastic that saving money
Yes.
is hard. It's not really hard.
Yes, you
Okay, a
can
couple things with
prove.
pronunciation.
Okay. Realize? No.
Realize.
Realize.
Realize. 2 syllables. Realize.
Realize.
Good. Earlier.
Earlier,
Good. Earlier.
a report showed.
Report.
A
Report.
report. A report showed.
Wealthy.
Wealthy.
Good.
Wealthy.
Awesome.
Okay.
Giulietta, can you read the next part?
This shady situation originally came out years ago when an HSBC employee told the French authorities about it. HSBC says that since then their Swiss operation have gone through a radical transformation and they have ousted most of those customers. They now join previous clients like Iran and drug cartels as HSBC alumni.
Nice. Alumni.
Alumni.
Alumni. Because it's plural, alumni. Ousted. Ousted.
Ousted.
Ousted. Radical.
Radical.
And operations.
Operations.
Nice. Good. Okay. What's happening here, AMP?
Joshua.
Yes.
Sorry for the interrupting. Can you explain some of these words?
Which words?
Sorry?
So, can you tell me which words you need explained?
Okay. Ousted.
Ousted. Good.
Ousted.
And
And
any others?
cartels.
Okay, cartels.
Cartels.
Okay. Does anybody know what a cartel is?
Aluminium, no?
El Nino?
Alumni. And this
Alumni.
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 That one more. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, can you repeat alumni?
Alumni.
Good, alumni. What's a cartel? Who knows what a cartel is?
It's a group of
A criminal
strange,
group.
illegal activities.
Yeah. Good. They do illegal things. For sure. So we have drug cartels, we have gangs, which are also called cartels. Generally, we apply it to drugs more than anything. But yeah, a cartel is kind of like a gang or a group who does criminal things. What's an alumni? Or what are alumni? Anybody know?
I don't know. It's like students, no?
Yeah, they're ex-students. So this is kind of making a joke like it's a school thing. So like we'd have an alumni meeting. It's all the people who went to school with you, who graduated in your class, who get together after. Would be like an alumni meeting. So these are all the people that they used to help out but don't help out anymore.
It's a noun? Adjective.
It's a noun. So a person who has graduated or moved on.
So if I want to say in the about a lot of people. Can I say alumni?
No.
It's
Alumni would be plural, so it's a Latin ending. Alumni,
mhm,
the alumnus would be singular. And I'm not even
mhm.
sure how you pronounce it. I'm an alumnus. You don't use it there often, but it's a former student. Yeah, alumnus. It's singular. And alumni are plural. It's just
Okay.
Latin instead of English endings.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a little bit tricky. The S is singular with the Latin.
Is maybe Latin.
Definitely Latin.
Is in.
I might have lost you?
No. It's a Latin word. It's in Latin, no?
Yes, for sure.
It finished in. Okay.
And ousted. What does ousted mean?
To leave something.
Yeah, it's like to kick out or remove someone. So my friend was a mess last night. The bouncer totally ousted him from the bar. That has never happened, but and this is kind of a weird way of using ousted, but you could do that. Also, John was ousted from his friend group when they found he stole money from their mothers. So he was kicked out. He was removed. So you can oust somebody. Usually we're talking about like dictators. So people are ousted from power. We could also talk about ousted clients. They're kicked out. They're no longer in this group. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, and AMP. So what's happening here?
Because of one of the employees told to the French authorities what was the actions of this bank. They were under, I suppose, under investigation, and they tried to change the way that they operate, and try to kick out the former clients, but they still have relationship with them or with
Yeah.
someone else that
Yeah.
have also illegal activities, or just try to hide the money from so they are going to pay less taxes.
For sure. That's exactly it. Okay, and I guess this is good. I think this is kind of something that happens in almost any country with any rich people, or even poor people. It doesn't have to be rich. Any questions here? Any other questions? Okay. Maybe Alexander, what do you think we could do about this? What do you think people can do about tax evasion? Or do you think people should do something about tax evasion?
Can you explain me one more time what tax season is?
Okay, so again, it's like hiding money so that you don't have to pay taxes. So you evade taxes. You just pretend that you don't have money so you don't have to pay your taxes.
Like to look for some ways to hide them. Okay. What do you think we can do about evasion, tax evasion? I think we just the people who work in some jobs, we won't be able to do something with that, because anything with that, because it because the governments does it many times than we, and it's like a big politics, and I
Okay,
think
so it's
I'm afraid I don't know at all about politics, about big politics, and I only can give some ways to protect us from that, from someone from that. Maybe we can how to say, we can our government can start punishing for that, and maybe punishing, I mean, more not more, tougher than it
being
used to be.
tougher.
Tougher. No, harsher,
Okay.
tougher.
Both would work. Harsher, tougher than it is now, or than it used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think that's solid. Okay, let's go on. I think this is another. Okay. We don't have a ton of time, so let's go on. So let's do one of these comics. Sorry. Let's have Adela. Can you read the role of the kid?
Okay.
Calvin.
You call this news. This is it informative. This is a sound bite. This is entertainment. This is sensationalist. Fortunately, that's all I have the patience for.
Mm-hmm. Sensationalism.
No, it's impossible. Sensation. I try after.
So
because
sensay,
sensationalism.
good. Sensationalism,
Sensationalism.
good. Sensationalism.
Sensationalism.
And then
What does it mean?
okay, sensationalism is like
Exaggerate.
exaggerating. For the benefit of like more viewers. So it's again making like a big deal out of something that might not be so important. Making a big deal out of something that might not be important would be sensationalism. Okay, and fortunately. Can you repeat fortunately?
Fortunately.
Close. It's
Fortunately.
fortune.
Fortunately.
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 Close. Fortunately. Fortunately.
Fortunately.
Yeah. Try to separate the itly a little bit more. Fortunately.
Fortunately.
Yeah, that's tough.
Fortunately.
Yeah. And amp, we might say a bigger audience instead of saying more audience. A bigger audience might work. But yeah, this is good. And Giulietta, can you explain this comic?
Calvin is watching the TV and he think that the TV is rubbish. But he like to see that rubbish. He likes because
Yeah.
it's the only thing that he has the passion for.
Yeah, and he's kind of representing the common viewer. So maybe people are aware of this problem with the news, but it's entertaining and it's easy to watch. So it's hard to
You
stop
don't
or
have
look at
to
something.
think much.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people like. So something that's entertaining.
I have a question. What is a sound bite? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
Yes.
but I think the teacher no.
you. Yes.
Soundbite is a phrase, a sentence, a short repeat a lot. You remember. I don't. It's sometimes a slogan or same.
A slogan.
I think,
Okay.
more or less, but I don't know if Joshua return. We ask.
Perhaps, but it's late. I don't know.
He escaped from us.
With a big question. Mm.
So let's talk about something.
You have
Did
2 minutes
someone,
or famous or being famous.
Joshua, here again.
Hey guys.
We are still here.
Yeah,
Welcome
sorry
back.
about that. Yeah, thanks. So yes, a soundbite is something that's easily replayable. So sometimes it can even have good information. So like a soundbite of the president's speech could be his like summary that they just replay and replay because it's easy, because it really states everything that the president was trying to say in his whole speech. But also it could be something that's just it's more it's catchier. So a soundbite could be like just a slogan that you'd use that's quick to say and it says more than what it actually says, if that makes sense. There's a lot of meaning. There's a implied meaning behind it. So yeah, sound bites are interesting. Oftentimes they look like they mean more than they actually do. So they can be kind of hollow, if that makes sense.
For example, I have a dream can be a soundbite.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be a soundbite. So it's something that people replay and reuse, and they use the original meaning of it to like try to give meaning to what they're actually saying, even though what they're actually saying is kind of hollow. Yeah, that's a really good example, Adela.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. And we are over time. I've got a class in an hour. If you guys want to join, I'd love to have you. But thanks for coming in. Nice talking with you guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Okay,
See you.
bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone.